And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to the show. Hopefully, my internet will hold up and you'll actually be able to hear what I say. But if not, you're not hearing a lot. We are here today with the one and only Luke Tarzian. Probably should have asked how to pronounce your name before we got on, but was I close?
No, you got it. You got it correct.
Woo! One for one. And he is the author of 5 books. And I forgot to ask if you had any books handy to show the camera.
I do not currently, which is very strange.
Okay, well, EL is going to roast you for this, but
Oh, that's fine.
So to answer Tim McKay's question, Luke, you're out in California right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so it's only 6 p.m. there, Tim. So we're a fairly East Coast centric thing. So 9 o'clock it's past Mike and I's bedtime.
Once again, I will not get the beauty sleep I need. Oh well.
Don't touch it. Just leave it alone.
So Luke, you just published a book here recently, like within the last month. Is that right?
I did on the 21st of December.
See, I do social media, people.
All right. And what was that book? What was it about?
So that was House of Muir. That is the second book in the Shadow Twins series, which took far longer to get out than I had initially anticipated. So it basically continues on after the events of Vultures, about a year ahead in the timeline. And there's really not much more I can say that won't spoil things. But I've said for a while, as I was writing and as I was getting it ready for publication, it's essentially my love letter to the Castlevania games and TV series.
I'm not familiar with that. Are you, Mike?
No, me? Come on. I don't watch TV. I don't play video games.
Well, he said TV series, so I thought maybe,
Yeah, so they adapted the TV series off of the games, but the games, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say started back in the 90s, and at their bare bones were Vampire Hunter goes to kill Dracula.
Okay. So is that kind of the genre that you're mostly writing in? I mean, you said earlier that you consider it dark fantasy, but I mean, is this kind of like a vampire, paranormal, intensive kind of thing?
No, it's still I still call it strictly dark fantasy. This one definitely borders a bit more on horror. But a lot of the stuff I write, and I think this was especially true with House of Muir, is that they're very slow burn.
Did you catch any of that, Mike?
Yeah.
I only got a lot of the stuff, and then it all went to hell.
Oh, might have been my mic.
I heard you.
No, but it's me. Everybody but me has this problem. I have this problem all the time, and everybody else is like, no, it sounds great. So, I don't know.
All right, I shall carry on. No, but this one especially was very psychologically driven. I got very, very into the characters' heads, which is what I usually do. But I would say the last like 3 to 5 years have not been the greatest for me. So I was not in a great place mentally when I wrote this, and to my benefit, I guess that seems to have shown through in the characters. Everybody has received the novel very positively so far, so I guess I did something right.
Well, maybe that's why all the authors of yore were, the popular ones had a list of problems as long as your arm,
Maybe.
came through in their writing. Oh, look at that, Luke! You have fans.
I have fans. That's shocking.
Either that or stalkers. One of the two.
Hey,
That's probably stalking
me. Don't be picky. Stalkers are fans too.
Take what you can get. So, what do you do do you write full time, Luke, or do you have a day gig?
So the technical answer is yes, I write full time, and that is because I work as a paralegal at a law firm.
Oh, okay.
So the vast majority of my day is writing, and then when I get home,
writing paralegal stuff. So you're writing things while thinking of stabbing yourself with a pen.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
But you're still writing
I
fiction,
enjoy my
right?
job, but it is a lot.
And you're still writing fiction at work, mostly?
On my lunch break, I've definitely taken the last month and a half off, just to like not burn out when I eventually go back to outlining. But yeah, I mean, between the day job and wrestling two kids, writing time is a bit sparse, so I just kind of slip it in where I find time.
Yep.
Mm.
So at work,
Mhm.
do you ever find like a particularly loathsome client and you find yourself wanting to or actually spelling out small sentences using the first letter of each paragraph?
I can't say that I have, but there's a first time for everything. We'll see what happens this year.
I saw a thing the other day. It's from years ago, I guess,
Mhm.
but your former governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, apparently once, when he vetoed a bill,
Mhm.
when he wrote it back, he wrote the response back to the representative who wanted the bill, so that the first letters of the paragraphs basically said "fuck you." Not basically, they did. He was quite happy with that. He was very proud of himself, I think.
I'm sure he would be. That's impressive.
So where do you call home, Luke?
I am about 15 minutes north of Los Angeles.
Oh, you get to take that drive every day.
Yeah, it's
Fun.
not bad.
Is it not? Really?
No, I work in a much less congested part of the city. I work basically like adjacent to Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. So
So
New Reagan Library. I was there once with my nephew a long time ago.
I'm not sure I know where it is. I've probably passed it though.
So being out there, you probably have access to a bunch of opportunities to sell your books in person, yeah?
Um, yes and no. We do have quite a few bookstores out here. So I've got books in a couple places, but I have not been very active on that front. I'm not a huge fan of going up to people and saying, "Hey, you want to carry my book?" I
Well,
much prefer to do it in an online space, I guess.
that's the beauty of Comic-Con is you don't have to go up to anybody. They come up to you.
Yeah, that's true.
So you've never done a show like that? Like a
I haven't. I have really bad social anxiety. So giant crowds are really just not my vibe.
all right. Giant crowds. I don't think I've seen a comic show with giant crowds. That would be awesome.
Crowds in general.
Yeah, I get that.
People, we understand.
More than you know. That's why we're doing this like this, because at any time we can just turn this off and walk away.
And I was about to suggest a whole new business model for you, Luke, which I mean, I guess you can still do if you're a little disingenuous.
hmm
But since you're out there so close to LA, you can solicit other authors, send me your books, and I'll see that the movie studios get a copy of it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that'll work.
Then you can just throw them away because it's not like anyone will be able to double check. Where are they going to?
I'm sure the movie studios hire someone just to take books and stuff that come through the mail slot and throw them away in
It would
advance.
not surprise me.
Yeah.
So, but you could have a little cottage business, and you could like read them and then throw them away. And yep, I delivered it. They should call you any day now.
So how'd you get into dark fantasy as opposed to just regular quote unquote regular fantasy or straight horror? Why the gray area there?
Um,
You live
I'm
in
not
LA.
really sure. I started reading Edgar Allan Poe when I was decently young, so that was sort of my first gateway into like darker fiction as a whole. And when I started writing my first book, which we will not talk about because it's a horrible piece of shit, I for whatever reason I was very into vampires and whatnot, and so I was trying to do that. I had it ended up being a really piss poor rip off of Harry Potter. Um, I yeah, but when I started writing short fiction, I think I wasn't writing fantasy. I was writing stuff that I guess would lean more into horror. I'm not sure why. That's just kind of what happened. And when I finally got serious about the novel writing thing, it was the same thing again. I had centered the story in my hometown. It was basically I was basically writing a facsimile of myself into this story and trying to work with uh, time travel and vendettas and that whole thing, and it didn't work. But then it ended. If I'm making any sense here, it didn't work, but at the same time did. So when I finally got around to Vultures, it actually ended up being. It was initially a standalone fantasy, and it had some of the elements. But I'd really gotten into epic fantasy at the time and fantasy as a whole. So I was trying to mimic a lot of that while trying to implement what I had learned while writing short form horror.
Yeah, you mentioned that you had some short horror published somewhere when you first started. Where was that?
Oh God, it was a magazine called Sanitarium. It doesn't run anymore, but I sold a handful of stories to them, and I think my first paid story ended up being a sort of reimagination of Dracula's origin.
Okay.
And what was your take on it? Hopefully not a Twilightish take.
Oh God, no, definitely not.
So I don't need to ask you which team you're on there then.
You definitely no, you absolutely don't. I am firmly in the not shiny, sparkly camp.
Good. All right. You
And
just made it a little more raw.
Yeah,
and I'll surprise no one in telling you I don't know who the hell Matt Berry is.
I
Well,
don't either.
There's a
Or
Matt
actually,
Berry who is a fantasy football guy
Hmm.
with ESPN or his own thing. And then there's a Dave Berry, but that's a totally different guy.
Dave Berry's a little different.
Yeah.
He's old. I know who he is.
So is your book like the books you have, are they part of the same series or are they each their own standalone thing?
So they are all part of a broader series, but Adjacent Monsters, which is the World Maker Parable and the World Breaker Requiem, form a duology. You can read them in either order. I wrote them specifically to be standalones. Um, they are relevant to the Shadow Twins series, which starts with Vultures and then continues with House of Muir. So you could read Parable, Requiem, or Vultures in whatever order you want. It won't really change anything. Um, but yeah, as far as series goes, they are all connected.
All right, cool. Mike, go ahead. I'm going to try to remember the thought that just left my head. Jeez.
Okay, so as a wildly successful author, what exactly do you do for book launches?
Mostly scramble for about 2 weeks. I would say wildly
That's the
successful is
answer.
being very generous.
So do you do pre-orders?
Yes, I do. I do. Pre-orders are, I would say, about the extent of it. I try to come up with, I don't know, marketing graphics and whatnot. Get pre-orders set up, and then basically just hope that I get the paperbacks up and ready in time before launch. But yeah, that's exactly what Bo said. I post and hope for the best.
So I have to ask for your pre-orders. Do you get a fair amount of pre-orders? And let me just say, I'll preface it with I've done pre-orders twice, and the first time I got 3, and the second time I got 33% more, and I got 4. Have you beat me?
I mean, relative to
Even your
some of
humble
my other
bragging is
stuff,
nerdy.
I'd say I've gotten about the same amount of pre-orders pretty consistently, with the exception of Vultures when it launched. I think I got like 7 for that. And mostly everything since that has been between, I want to say, like 10 and 17.
The question I forgot that Mike jumped in, actually, it was the same question, which is kind of creepy, really. I was going to ask you, if you don't go to live shows and stuff, how are you selling? I mean, are you doing ads of any kind, or
I tried ads a while ago, and for me, it just ended up being a massive waste of money. And I'm sure I wasn't doing it correctly, but it just, for me, it felt too intensive. My catalog wasn't as long as it is now. I think I was trying to do it with 2 books out at the time, which is just not recommended. I've seen most say, unless you have like 3 books out, just don't even bother with it. But I tried Facebook, I tried Amazon, and I think I spent way more than I actually earned. So it's, for me, it just didn't really feel relevant. My main source of driving sales now at this point is shit posting as often as I can on Twitter or Blue Sky and hoping for the best.
So, well, give us an example of shit posting.
Um,
Do you just make fun of ZB Steel?
yeah, I'll make fun of Zach. I'll make fun of a few of my other friends. It's just posting a, for me, shit posting is just posting something completely random and sort of out there. I feel like a lot of the people who are watching this probably can describe it better than I can. I'll occasionally go for shock value. That has not always worked out the best.
Well, I mean, it's different. We're a very jaded community or country, I guess, right now. So shocking us is really kind of difficult.
I guess I'll say this. I've probably gone a bit too overboard in the past, and my intent is never to piss people off or offend anybody, but I'm sure that I have, and I have had to deal with the consequences of that. But when I shit post something, like my intent is never to offend anybody.
No, but there's always someone who's going to be offended. You know what? Fuck them.
So, Bo has a question for you.
I think I missed it.
Did you pre-order special edition with Silverstone books? Did that come out?
Oh, so I think I had initially messaged Cabin, who ran Silverstone's books, about carrying some of my titles, and that worked out. And I think shortly after that, I sent him a DM, and I was like, and straight up asked, like, "Hey, would you be interested in collaborating on a special edition of Adjacent Monsters?" And he was game, and we just kind of went from there. I came up with the cover and everything. We did. I think we limited it to 50 signed and numbered copies, and that's just basically how it came about. Nothing too complicated. It was pretty straightforward.
That's a pretty small print run to do something, special like that, to only have that many, or
Yeah,
get
we wanted
more,
to be
but they're just not
we wanted to
numbered.
be conservative. I'm not. I wouldn't call myself a widely read or widely known author, so we wanted to be a bit more conservative with the number. I think before Silverstones ended up closing, we had sold, I want to say 26 or 27. And so the way we were doing it, we ran a pre-order for it, and then everything after that, the orders would come in. I would order them from Ingram Spark. They would come in. I would sign them. I would hand spray the pages, and then send them off to Kevin.
Now you're saying these people they're not around anymore?
No, they closed in the later part of 2024.
All right, okay.
But from what I know, Kevin is doing. I think he's doing editing.
I think my next pre-order, I want to have them signed and numbered, because I only have to do 4.
Shoot for the stars, man.
Okay, 6.
I was going to make a joke about you putting them out of business, but I won't because that's in bad taste.
No, they were great. Cabin was very supportive of indie fantasy and science fiction, which was primarily what the store was.
So how'd you get into spraying your own covers?
I saw a video of somebody do it online and thought it looked cool, so I went and bought a can of acrylic spray paint and tried it.
It works pretty well.
Yeah, it works pretty well.
Spray paint would it would be sticky with the pages and everything.
You would. Well, it depends on how close you spray. Because if you're spraying it where you're like right next to the book, it's gonna leak everywhere. The pages are gonna get wet. So you do it from a distance, and it comes out like more or less perfect.
And that's just with a regular can of spray paint, not like an airbrush or anything like that.
No, it's funny too because I tried an airbrush for a while and the results were so horrendous. So I just stuck with the spray paint.
How about that? Something new.
Okay, are we ready for a silly question?
Please.
Absolutely.
This is one we haven't asked in like a month. And I will tell you there is one correct answer and one wrong answer. And Ro and I disagree on what it is.
I'm ready.
Which would be cooler? You're going down the main street of your city.
Mm-hmm.
You can stride a T-Rex or a Griffin. There's only one right answer.
Oh. I mean, frankly, I'm going to go with the T-Rex.
Yes.
That's not the right answer.
Team T-Rex. There we go.
I guess if you're just riding it, that would be, because the Griffin obviously doesn't need to go down the street. It can fly above the street and avoid the traffic. Whereas the T-Rex would have to, stomp on the traffic. But,
yes, that's the glorious part.
If you wanted to actually do anything, then the T-Rex is not your beast of choice.
No, but I have a few people I want to stomp on, so it works out.
Have you not seen Jurassic Park in the last decade or so? Have you forgotten about the T-Rex scene? Oh, see, Zach, we can't have you on again.
Yeah. Everybody else is Team Griffin, Mike. Just get over it.
Oh, no, God.
That's all right. What else you got in that bag of dumbass questions, Michael?
Oh, well, pick a number. I have 33 dumbass questions.
Oh, boy.
Roll one of your fantasy dice.
Oh, I put them away. Let me get them. Oh, I only have a 20-sided, so 15. What is 15? Well, I don't know if this is even a silly question. This is actually a real one. What piece of writing advice do you completely ignore?
What writing advice do I completely ignore? Oh, Jesus Christ. I think one of the first things I heard when I started getting into it was you have to write every day, otherwise you're not a real writer. And whoever wrote that can go fuck themselves. I'm sorry.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
I write maybe once a week.
Hold on, let me just 23:30. I think we need to take that as a clip, right? Next show, whoever wrote that can go fuck themselves. Perfect. Yeah, join us on our next episode for more insightful comments. No, that's great. I'm not dissing you, Luke, at all. I think that's actually fantastic.
No, I apply that to parenting as well. And I saw something earlier where they asked this woman, they go, when you're parenting your child, what word do you use in place of fuck? She goes, oh, so I use the word fuck. Follow me for more parenting tips.
I think it's important that children learn to use that word correctly.
Yeah.
And
my kids have learned it already. I'm not proud.
It's you'll have your moment. There will be a time where your kid will time it correctly and use it appropriately, and you will just sit there beaming to yourself.
At a grocery store.
You will have to scold them.
Yeah.
But then you'll turn around like this. So it'll be okay. Who is this?
That is Zach.
Who?
ZB Steele, Zach
Oh,
Steele.
right. Yeah. I don't call anybody. I don't get drunk and I don't call anybody drunk. I'm a child of the 80s, and we learned our lessons then. Because we actually had to dial the numbers, stick your finger in the hole and turn the thing.
Yeah, I remember those.
You missed that up a few times. You just give up on the whole drunk dialing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I challenged my nephews to actually be able to dial the number properly with that. I was like, here, dial my cell phone number. Here's a rotary dial. But they're like, oh yeah, I know how to do that, Uncle Mike. Neither one of them got even close.
What a
The
shock.
1900s. Good grief. So, what is on? I guess we're kind of obligated to ask this question to you, Luke. What is on your list of authory things that you're going to try to accomplish in 2025?
Ooh, that is a great question.
Hey, I got one. Woohoo! Mark that down, Mike.
I'm gonna hopefully try to be a bit more consistent with my writing this year. The last 2 years were every day, absolutely. The last 2 years were kind of a shit show and a bit of a scramble. I finished writing House of Muir, the rough draft, I think, I want to say in May of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And I finished it, but I still had like probably 7 or 8 scenes that I hadn't written. I just threw notes down and was like, all right, I'll just get to this later. And we did the cover reveal and the pre-order announcement in, I want to say, like the very end of June. And I told myself, all right, you're fine. You're still ahead of schedule. And by the middle of August, I hadn't touched the thing. And I looked at the calendar. I was like, oh, this thing releases in about 3.5 months. I should probably get to revisions. But I have always worked pretty decently under pressure. So it worked out in the end. But 2023 and 2024 were just very sporadic. After I wrote, I think I only had one book come out in 2022, and that was the novelette, A Cup of Tea at the Mouth of Hell. And I wrote that because I needed a break from the other stuff.
Yep.
And so I didn't put anything out in 2023. I just mostly kind of languished and then eventually got back to writing House of Muir, which took far, far too long.
Well, I don't know if this is a compliment or not from Bo.
Probably not.
So yeah, your writing is soul crushing, Luke. Congrats.
I have been known to make people cry.
Oh, isn't it a great feeling? I love salty tears.
If you've made someone show emotion somehow, your writing is fine. That's the job, right? If
I
you
feel
make
like that's
people
always
cry,
my main
there's
goal.
nothing that makes me happier than someone saying, "Yeah, I cried at this." It's like, oh, good deal.
EL, he cannot read you a page because he's going to have your wrath. He has no books of his handy to even show the covers of. So,
Yeah, I'm out of stock on copies.
See, told you, wildly successful. You're out of stock.
Those are words I've never had to say.
Well, it's more like I sold some ages ago and then just never bothered reordering them. Even when
Hey, you don't have to explain. You're out of stock. Sold out.
You're killing it, man. I'm looking for something, which is why my heads are down. Sorry. Well, my head. Just a little.
Okay.
So, Mike, you have to ask another stupid question because I'm looking for something.
If you insist, what is the strangest thing you've ever had to research for one of your books?
Oh, your books. That would be, yeah.
Oh, God.
Writing what you write. Just imagine what that looks like.
Dude,
That many to choose from?
I'm honestly not sure.
Give us a, maybe not the most, but give us an idea. What kind of weird things do you look up? I mean, because it's got to be something, right?
Here's my thing when I'm writing. Most of the stuff I'm looking up is synonyms or something related to syntax because I write my stuff in a very particular way. I'm very obsessive about it. I'm already extremely fucking weird, so most of that I don't need to look up.
So, EL, this is a little concerning. First, it was what kind of worms eat the dead, and now what's a bear's first poop after hibernation?
Hibernation.
There we go.
There's a B in it. That should have.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
where you were. That's where you were missing.
This is why you lead the interviews, not me. This is why you're actually, and I don't doubt that, EL. I do not doubt that at all. That you had to go ask.
So, what's the answer, EL?
Tim had to Google if alligators have ears.
And do they?
I don't know, but it's a plug and it's disgusting to answer your question, Ro.
Okay. I can imagine. Oh my god.
Hey,
I mean, is that the kind of thing you really need to be accurate about, though? Is that the kind of thing that people are going to, send you mail about?
you never know. I would love to get that myself. That'd be wonderful.
Oh man.
Ears on the inside. That's interesting.
Okay. See, this is what happens, Mike, when we do this at 9 o'clock. Is we get a bunch of people in the chat who are feeling a little punchy at being up so late.
Okay. Do you have any rituals or routines that you use to get into the writing zone? Or because you have kids, it's like I have a spare 3.5 minutes. Let's go.
If I'm gonna like really actually sit down and write for a few hours, I will get a pot of tea going, scream for a few minutes, and then sit down and hope I get words on page.
Scream, you say?
Yeah, there's a lot of screaming involved.
You get your kids to help you with that to tune up just right, or?
No, they're usually asleep or at their mom's.
The neighbors don't come over and check on you?
Not yet.
Luke's screaming again. Oh, maybe he's going to finish that book finally then.
Zach did text me about every other day in the latter part of the earlier part of the year saying, "Is it finished yet? Is it finished yet?"
He sounds like that type of person. That does not surprise me.
It's very helpful, isn't it? Have someone just on your ass all the time like that?
It is.
So, your book covers, who does them for you?
That would be myself.
Okay.
Do you like doing that?
I do. So before I got into writing, I was doing art. I think I got identified as gifted in art when I was in the first grade. It was like the GATE program or some shit like that. So I got really into art. I did it for about 7-8 years, then completely threw it to the wayside and picked up writing in high school. Did the writing thing continually, and then I picked up art again after I graduated college. And when I got serious about self-publishing, I was looking around at cover artists and whatnot just to see kind of who was doing what, and then just kind of decided, well, I have this background, maybe I can put it to good use and actually save some money.
Nice.
But it definitely took a while to sort of learn what I was doing as far as cover art goes. I think Vultures, since it's been published, has gone. It's on its 6th and final cover now. I'm finally happy with the branding, but I would definitely not recommend changing your cover that many times.
No, it's just that's just one more thing to have to worry about. When you're doing all that. I mean, it's one less person to talk to as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which, but I'm quite happy to just give someone an idea and let them do that work. Not have to worry about it. Hey, can I? I'm going to just jump in here real quick. So, a few minutes ago in the chat, people were commenting on me be born in the 60s, the 1860s, or whatever it is, and blah, blah, blah. And I
How
did
was
want
Abraham
to,
Lincoln?
huh?
Was Abraham Lincoln?
And I'm going to preface showing you this photo
Oh boy.
by
Okay.
saying this was around 1976,
Okay.
Good year.
and I am the youngest of 6 boys.
Okay.
So much of my clothing at that time was not indeed new when I got it. So any of you not from the 70s, these are the collars we had to deal with back then. So I'll just say that.
I'm horrendously colorblind, so I don't even know what they are.
You know that's the beauty about 70s clothing. It's because it's so big and out there and whatever. It doesn't matter if you can see color or not. You know it's not even a suit, Tim. It's just a shirt. Wow. Wow. Yes, with film. And none of it even gray. How about that? Anyway, all right. So, next question, Michael.
I was going to say, if you keep doing that, I'm going to have to dig out the picture of me when I was 4 and we had our family photo.
Next time.
boy.
Next time. Yeah, that. Yeah,
Seeing you with hair would be a treat.
it was really well done.
Nice. What's question 26?
26, you ask?
I do.
Okay. First of all, Luke, who is your main character, or pick a main character for us?
Oh, let's see. We'll go with Bear.
Okay, and if Vare was in the woods by him or herself, could they start a fire?
Yes.
How?
Magic.
Oh, well, that's easy. So what is the proper incant? No, we're not going to go there. Let's see. If your main characters got to write a chapter with you in it, how would you fare? Would you make it
Oh, that's I want to go 50-50 on that because he's fucked over a lot of people, not necessarily on purpose. So he doesn't have the best track record in that department. So I'm not 100% sure I'd make it out.
He does it by accident?
Yeah.
Was he Don Knotts?
No, he's just desperate.
Okay.
And capable of wielding magic.
Yes.
That's a fantastic combination. And
It is.
what Luke's characters would definitely have him murdered.
Oh yeah,
What-
Zach's read my work. That is a very true statement.
So what is this guy? I mean, what's his calling in the story? I mean, is he like an anti-hero? Is he a reluctant hero? What's his deal?
He's somewhere in between. So he's I would say like on the power scale, he's closer to God than most of the other characters in the story. He is a world builder. My stories also involve the multiverse or alternate reality, so there is plenty of room for fuckery. And he fails in basically each world.
So he's super powerful, but not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Yeah, that's a pretty he's I guess to modernize it, he is what you would call book smart and street stupid.
Oh, that's a great combination. Yeah,
So I have a question. I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
I agree with this. Absolutely.
How do you handle criticism and feedback from readers?
Younger Luke would probably bitch in a Discord server with friends. Nowadays, I really just don't give a shit. You either like it or you don't. I write whatever I like, and if people like that, that's great. If they don't, that's also fine. Reading is subjective, and I honestly, I think if you're one of those people who are going to get upset by every negative review or even a 3-star review, which is still good, you need to go outside and touch some grass. Just get off the computer.
I don't know if that's a healthy attitude necessarily, but it's a great one. Because that's we've said often here, if you're going to be offended by anything, especially if it's the opinion of one or two other people, you are absolutely in the wrong business. And you
Yeah, I
need
mean,
to find another thing
obviously
to
you want
do.
people to like your book, but you also have to, and I think this is with anything, like not everybody's going to connect with the same thing that you are. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
So
But we say this all the time, right? There are people who don't like Tolkien. There are people who think Janeway was a decent Star Trek captain. It's just, there's no accounting for people being wrong about things.
I said this in the live stream the other day. My first book basically was a lot of me as the main character.
Mhm.
I had 3 reviews where people like, I like the world, but I absolutely hated the main character. I'm like, awesome. That's great.
So they're reading it the whole time, hoping he's going to die.
Yeah, well, they put their chips in the wrong one because there's
Oh,
plenty of
boy.
deaths.
You should let him die in one, but then bring him back at the end of the book.
No, I people are dead to me if they do that in their books. There's a lot of things that make authors dead to me, and that's one of them.
It's magic. Come on.
No, leaving the book on a cliffhanger. No, I'll never read another thing by you again. Write a book without a plot.
Dude, like some of the most popular books in the world have people coming back from the dead.
Yeah, and so did Dallas. And look what happened to that TV.
Yeah, I have.
I was thinking the Bible, right? But Dallas is a great example too. For any of you too young to know, Dallas was a television show that ran in the 1980s, starring the guy from I Dream of Jeannie, which ran in the 1960s. So go do your homework.
And he's long dead.
Who shot JR? It was a dream. Sorry, spoilers. Okay, we're done. I really passed my bedtime. Dude. That's right. Shane. And this is a comment in relation to Mike refusing to read books that are longer than 500 pages because reasons, I guess.
I understand that. I have a very short attention span.
Yeah, see?
And yet I am reading the Stormlight Archive, so I don't know what that says about me.
Oh, why? I read Mistborn, and when I was done, I was like, you know what this book really needs? An editor to cut out like 350 pages.
Yeah, I like Brandon's work, and I've read Stormlight basically since the first one came out. But Jesus Christ, I did the 4th book, Rhythm of War, as an audiobook, and I'm doing Wind and Truth as an audiobook, and alternating between the physical copy. But what I think I was listening to Rhythm of War, and I said, all right, I've listened to about 23 hours of this thing. Like, I've got to be decently done. And I looked, and it said I still had like 38 hours left.
Oh, God. That is hell. That is
Yeah.
my definition of hell.
Yeah, no, the 5th book, I think the audiobook is like 64 hours long.
God.
It's insane.
There has been no one on this show in nearly 2 years who has said anything about Sanderson that has made me want to go out and buy one of his books. I've never read a Brandon Sanderson book. And despite the fact that you keep seeing things about, this is really good and blah, 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 every time someone talks about it, there's always a but in there.
I would say the exception to that are the Mistborn Error 2 books. They're much shorter and much more tightly plotted. And I frankly enjoyed it a lot more than the first series.
So I'm the one who, when Wheel of Time was coming out, I was like, what the hell is this series? Why do they have so many thick books and they just keep coming? And I was like, it's not over yet. So
Yeah.
I never read even the first one, and I never will, because it's 15 books and 1,000 pages each. Ugh.
I think I bowed out maybe 16 hours into the audiobook for book 6. It's like 15 to 16 hours in, and this one set of characters has literally not moved location.
That's a lot of lawn mowing.
When they have like 3.5 books that is called The Slog that you have to get through, I'm like, no.
See, and that's the beauty of like the Silmarillion, right? You don't need to read it
Yeah.
ever. No reason.
I've tried like 3 times.
If you're doing it, you're just doing it to say you've done it.
Yeah, exactly.
I do put it on at night if I need to fall asleep, because I put that on and it puts me out in no time.
See, and that's why I don't have audiobooks, because that's what I'd be getting. 5 stars. This is the best book ever to help me get to sleep. Thank you very much.
Hey, I'll send you a copy of my book if you'll give me a 5-star for.
Sure thing.
Okay.
Can I listen to it and edit it like that?
Okay. Are you ready to enter the Bald Dome, Luke?
Yes, I am.
Drink the potion. Drink the potion.
So this started because we wanted people to tell us about their main characters, but we didn't want them to give us spoilers.
Wait. He can't use his main character because he's freaking god level.
I've got other characters.
So you have to pick a main character, and what is they're going to be transported to some random location. I'm going to roll dice for this.
Okay.
Be given a potion. What's your favorite color?
It's colorblind.
No, that's a good question. I don't know. I'll go with blue, I guess.
Okay, so it's a blue fizzy potion. He or she does not know what it does, but it's 100% effective whether they take it themselves or throw it at their adversary. 100% don't know what it is. Then you will get a choice. They will get either a regular item or they will get a weapon. If you choose a regular item, they will face a regular animal. If you choose the weapon, they will face a fantasy creature. And then after I give you all these things, I'm going to say go, and you tell us the story. How does this encounter end?
All right.
With battle, they can run away screaming, whatever you want. Just tell us. We want to learn about your character. What would they do?
I hope it's a bear that just came out of hibernation. That'd be awesome.
Okay, so we are number 11 is, where'd you go? A secret garden hidden behind an enchanted waterfall. We've not had this one before. You have a fizzy potion that is number 11, which means nothing to anyone but me. Let's see. So now you get your choice. You can have a normal common item or a weapon. Which one do you want for your character? Who is
we're gonna go with the weapon.
Okay, and who is your character?
That would be Kalian. He is the main character in House of Weir.
And what does Kalian like?
He's an alcoholic with a lot of baggage.
Okay, I like it. So instead of getting 12, which would have been 20 feet of rope, his weapon is a bastard sword.
All right, that works.
Solid. And instead of facing a pack of 5 gray wolves, he is facing a chimera.
Okay.
Fire-breathing head of a lion, the body of a goat, and the tail of a snake.
All right.
And for you, we'll make it a
rattlesnake.
It's sitting there doing the maracas as you fight it.
All right.
So who is the character you chose again?
That would be Kalian.
So Kalian turns a corner in this garden behind the waterfall. She's just strolling there, and lo and behold, there's a chimera. Chimera looks up, sees her. What happens next? She's also holding a blue fizzy potion in addition to a bastard sword.
Yeah,
he's probably going to chug the potion and go straight at this thing.
All right. Look at that.
Nice.
No thought process at all. Just drink and go. I love this character already.
So for the fire-breathing chimera, he just downed a potion of fire resistance.
Man, you're so nice with these potions.
So, well, I mean, there is the love potion that's come a couple times now, which is always fun. You know, frost giant and.
No, but how would they know that's what the potion does? They'd have to test that theory, right?
Well, we're talking to the storyteller, so.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So she charges with a bastard sword. She's fire resistant. What does the chimera do? Does he attack? Does he run? Does he go through the waterfall and go down and take a bath? What happens next?
Oh, the chimera's gonna attack.
Okay. I'm assuming it breathes fire and sees that it does absolutely no good whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happens? Does she toy with it? Does she just behead it?
I think he's going to try and behead it. Whether or not he's successful remains to be seen.
Okay. I will roll 20-sided die for you. A 9.
Oh, no.
And you should not have me roll because I always roll single digits on my 20-sided dice.
Oh boy.
Swing and a miss.
Okay, so the body of the goat doesn't really do a whole lot. The rattle tail doesn't really do a whole lot. So yeah.
Hey, Rattletail doesn't do a whole lot. Does nothing?
It makes noise.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Never mind. Disregard.
So the fire-breathing head of a lion, I guess it could still try to bite him because the fire's not going to do
Yeah.
anything.
You want me to roll for the lion?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it for the line.
Ooh, that's an 18.
Ooh.
Got a piece of something.
So
All right, Luke, what's going on?
Yeah, I'd say it's on one hand he would try to fight back, but on the other he's just so miserable in life he might just go, whatever.
Just let himself be devoured?
Yeah.
Intentional suicide is a response we've not had on this program yet.
And just think, if we made money, we'd probably be demonetized. So
let's just say that he just gets a nip in, right? Like not quite, Black Knight at the bridge, kind of your arms off, but
it's just a flesh wound.
Right. Okay. She doesn't have a shield, or he doesn't have a shield to hold, so they're good with one arm.
I mean, could have just hit the potion bottle, and just cracked it into shards.
Sure. So, I mean, is that basically the tack that this character is going to take, is just bull rush?
Yeah, like I mentioned, he drinks a lot. He's got a lot of past baggage, so he's just kind of 50-50 on everything. Yeah.
Okay. Exactly, Jay. Do you play D&D?
I have not played D&D, but I've played games utilizing the mechanics.
Because this character, as fun as he seems for this kind of thing, if he was in a D&D campaign with me, that would drive me crazy. It's like, what the hell are you doing? It's just a guy that, everybody's readying all their ranged stuff, and this guy just charges straight ahead. Don't cleric.
He'd be the Leon Jenkins.
Well, why don't we give him another swing, Mike? Go ahead.
Okay, another swing. You want me to roll, do you?
Oh boy. Well, was that like a 3?
A 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dead.
You don't want me to roll. Never, ever.
Well, now maybe in this case, if he just took a swing and twirled around and fell on his ass and sat there looking up at the sky, maybe the lion would just kind of, when's the last time the lion ate?
Yeah, maybe the lion just wants to be friends and just licks him.
Yeah, maybe.
Pushes him with his nose, the thing's dead.
Belches a little fire and it still doesn't bother him, and so he's like, I have a friend. I can breathe fire and it doesn't kill them.
We don't want to kill your character, man. That would be rude.
Yeah, but
we technically aren't killing your character. He's killing himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, so the dark fantasy author, and we're making this encounter cozy.
Trying to be nice about it. I'm doing my best to be dead. Let me go.
Yeah, he would be pissed.
I feel happy. All right.
So when is your next book coming out this year? You say May? That's guaranteed, written in stone, going to happen? Or am I just putting words in your mouth?
I have no plans. I have 0 plans for releasing anything this year. If I do, it'll be a surprise to everybody.
Okay, so we'll ask Zach when the deadline's going to be.
Yeah.
And then he'll just.
How far along are you into it now?
I've barely started outlining.
Okay, so you do a full outline of the book before you start writing anything?
No, I never do a full outline. I just kind of look for the plot points that I want to hit, and then just
Yep.
kind of go from there.
All right. That's still more planning than we do for this show.
That's true.
All right. You got a website or anything where people can go and find your stuff?
I do have a website. I can't exactly remember the URL for it. If you go to my Twitter page, there's a bio site link that people can click on, and that'll get them to the right place. I had to change my web provider earlier this year, and it's been just kind of a shit show getting my luketarzian.com domain to work on the new one. So I just kind of let it fall by the wayside.
Oh,
All right.
I have a question I want to ask you that I didn't ask this entire hour. How often do you get called Tarzan?
Only about 1,000 times a year,
Okay.
so not a lot.
Okay.
If
So,
you were in the same room right now, Mike, he would probably punch you in the head.
I'm
It's
not
just-
that violent.
and that's why all my friendships are over the camera. And yes, Ro, I know you could say all sorts of things with that, which is kind of why
I'm not saying a word, man. So scrolling along the bottom is Luke's Amazon page. So, you know, we'll give you a few seconds here to scribble that down. Or you
That's
could
a
just,
good one.
you know, go to Amazon and search Luke Tarzian.
And if you do manage to find my website and subscribe to my newsletter, you get a free copy of the World Maker Parable. So there's that.
Well, there you go. So now I'm going to have to Google it and see if I can actually find your website.
It'll pop up. It's like luketarzian.mailerpage.io or something like that.
And next time Luke shitposts, you have to tell him that you're horribly offended. You'll never talk to him again. And where's your Amazon author page so you can buy all his books?
If only
Man, I'm
it worked
finding
like
like your Instagram and
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on.
oh wait, here we go. This is it. LukeTarzian.mailerpage.io. That's exactly
Oh, there we
it.
go.
Wow.
And you have
I'm
a
surprised
timer
you
on
remembered
here
it.
that's up at all zeros. So I don't know what that's about.
Oh, that was the countdown, I think, for House of Moir.
Okay, let's see. There we go. There's Luke's webpage. Look at you. All right. Okay, so any last comments? Your last opportunity to tell people to go buy your book.
Go buy my book. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink coffee before getting on the freeway.
Oh, and I have one last question for you, Luke.
Yeah.
And now's a good time.
Name people who we should interview on this channel.
People who you should interview. I was going to say Zach, but you've done that already, unfortunately. Let me think off the top of my head. Aaron Cross. He's had a few books come out. I think his most recent is the Boddicker Letters. Daniel Meyer, who is writing the Sam Adams novels. I believe the first one is Credible Threats. Or Nathan Hall, who wrote An Altar on the Village Green.
So Daniel Meyer. How do you spell Meyer?
Meyer.
Ooh, I guessed right. Okay, Aaron Cross, Daniel Meyer, and Nathan Hall.
Yes.
Okay. I may hit you up on Twitter, see if you can give me contact info for them, but I will see what I
absolutely.
see. If are they West Coasters like yourself?
No, I want to say Central or East Coast primarily.
Bro, we don't have to do super late one. Yay.
Well, I appreciate all the people that have showed up tonight at this late hour. And Happy New Year. And, you know,
Happy New Year,
we will
indeed.
press on to 2025 and see what happens. See if we have TikTok to kick around in a few weeks and all that good stuff. And maybe Mike and I will actually get some books written.
Okay. Thank you, Luke. It is time
Alrighty.
awkwardly now.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.